Thank you all for coming. I'm Rob Manfredi, the owner of Bamboo Solutions. Today we're going to take a look at 5 of our top products that we think really every SharePoint portal should have because it enhances the user experience. So just a little bit about Bamboo. We're going to take a little PowerPoint for each of the products. We're going to take a look at the website, a couple pricing options, and then we're going to also do a quick demo of each product. Just a little bit about us. We're a provider of enterprise class software applications and consulting services for SharePoint and Microsoft 365. We are a gold partner, although that status is changing this year, so we'll see what they call it this year, but we are certified by Microsoft on our products and services. We've got over 8,000 customers that have downloaded our products, both on-prem and in the cloud, from some of the largest companies out there to even the smallest little missions, not-for-profits around the world. We are a small company, but we always like to say our experience makes us the best in class. We've got our help desk is located here in Reston, Virginia, that services our customers as well as supports our trials that are out there. We're 40 some odd people, and we get a lot of repeat business, which we're pretty proud of. So a little bit about our product architecture. These are what we call SharePoint Framework or SPFX solutions. They are not add-ins. Add-in support, as you know, is going away, but this is the way that Microsoft wants third parties to create value-add components for SharePoint. So our products are fully supported now and in the future. They are available both through our website for trial and purchase, as well as the Microsoft App Store. Microsoft App Store usually runs about a version behind because they take a little bit longer to publish those, and the like. So what you'll see is that our products run fully in your SharePoint tenant. They're not SaaS or PaaS services. There's not any servers on our side that touch your servers or your data. So it's all fully enclosed within the permissions and security of your SharePoint Online tenant or your SharePoint on-prem servers. You simply add the products to the SharePoint Online app catalog in your tenant. You add them to pages, configure them, and off you go. When updates or new versions come out, you'll be notified via our newsletter, and then you can download those, test those on a site collection, or just deploy it to your app catalog, and all of your products that you've deployed and configured will be instantly upgraded in your tenant. Speaking of licensing, we have 2 different ways to license the products. One is a perpetual license and maintenance model. So you buy it. It includes the first year of maintenance with that purchase. And then second year maintenance is usually 22% of that purchase price. We also support subscriptions. So for those that want to use maybe operational budget, we've got a yearly subscriptions to our products that are lower cost than the purchase. And those can be paid either monthly or yearly, and we'll get into that in a second. So the subscription product licensing gives you a bundle of 3 up to 6 products based on the size of your organization. So if you have less than 2,000 users, between 2 and 10,000, or up to 10,000 users, or over 100,000 users, there's different tiers essentially on those subscriptions. But you create your own bundle. So you say we want 3 products, and you can choose any 3 products from our catalog. It includes the maintenance and upgrades while you're on your active subscription. There are monthly and yearly payment plans. You manage this whole thing through a nice portal we've got set up. But what's nice is the bundles are flexible. So if you end up not wanting one of the products on your renewal, we can swap that out for any other product in our catalog because we know needs change, adoption rates change, and priorities change. So the subscription cost typically, let's say our average customers under 2,000 users, for any 3 web parts, 1-year commitment monthly is $356 a month. So that's one way to purchase it. The average purchase price, if you want a perpetual license for our products, is about $4,000, which includes maintenance, and it puts the second year maintenance cost at about 22% of that, which is $878. So lots of ways to buy our products. It's all outlined on our website. We also have small business pricing, which is interesting. So if you are less than 100 people or less than 300 and a not-for-profit, we've got a maintenance only price. So you would only pay that $878 per product for a perpetual license and first year maintenance. Lots of neat things to see out there. We'll take a quick tour of the website to show you how to get access to it and the like. So why don't we go ahead and bring our website over. Oops. I'm gonna do that. Okay. So on our website, we can see that we've got our products area here. The blue products on the left are our SharePoint Online products. There's 25 of them. They're not all listed here, but they're here in the view more. We have our small business pricing that I just spoke about here. We've got our subscription pricing here, and the perpetual license pricing is on each of the product pages. We also have a great services team that can do all sorts of stuff related to Microsoft 365 consulting, including Power Apps, Power Automate. We've got a great help desk solution. We do security monitoring and configuration for tenants, and we can really provide a full suite of products and services to help you on your journey. So with that, we'll go here on the view more, and then you can see a full list of our products here with a nice little synopsis of what each product does. So one of the products we're going to look at today is Simple Search. On that product page, you will see all the benefits, a movie of I'm sorry, there was usually a video. I guess this one doesn't have a video. But we do have a nice comparison here of how simple this search compares to out-of-the-box SharePoint search and what the benefits of those are. You can see it's part of the subscription program, and here's the purchase price, $39.95, the small business pricing right next to it. And you can grab a trial by clicking on this orange button. It's a no-cost trial, doesn't require any sort of credit card. You just simply grab the trial tab here, add it to your cart, check out, and that trial is fully supported by our team if you need help with installation, configurations, or a walkthrough. Okay, the first thing we want to take a look at is a free product that comes with any product you buy or subscribe to, and it's called Tenant Manager. And what Tenant Manager does is a real differentiator for us to help our customers monitor the usage and provide a better cost justification for the ongoing cost of the maintenance or even the purchase of the product. So it not only helps you manage the licenses for the products, but it also gives you some usage statistics of the products within your tenant. So if we come in here, so the first thing it does again is it simplifies the license management. It's designed to streamline those license administrations across your tenant. So this way you license the products right here in Tenant Manager, and then no matter where you put the products in your tenant, they'll always work against that license. The second thing is what we call telemetry data. And we're going to have a quick demo of this, but this gives you a visibility into product deployment. Where is it being deployed? What URLs? And also usage of those products across your tenant. So these metrics allow you to optimize where they are, if they're being used or not on those sites, and also just to say, you know, this product is being used by 8,000 people a month on 25 different sites within our tenant is really good information to know. So if we want to take a quick look at Tenant Manager, let me bring my little demo over here. It is a web part that's installed just like any other web part. And when you install other products into your app catalog, we keep a list of those products right here. And then within each of those products will come with a 30-day license automatically, which is the trial. But when you purchase or subscribe, you'll get a license key from support that you just drop in here. Just copy and paste it, and it will license the product for either the period of the subscription or perpetually if you buy a perpetual license on it. Now, once you take one of the products and have added it to your app catalog and then install it on a page, we actually then begin getting information from those products on how often they're being used. So we can see how many products have been installed, which licenses may be expiring soon or are expired. And then we can say some neat things at a summary on this overview, right? Which are the most viewed products on your site? What are the total number of views this month across all products, last month, and total views for this year? So this gives you a nice overall statistic. And then over here on the pie chart, we can see by product the number of views, that is people who have accessed the product, um, in a nice pie chart or in a bar chart. And then you can look at this month, last month, or this year, and you can see these charts change and the like. Okay, so this is updated pretty much, I think it's daily, but you do have the ability to come into settings and either export the data, sorry, or right here, you can go ahead and refresh the data, which will pull all the latest data from all of your sites and update the report. So that way, if you're going to do something on the export and you've got a, let's say, a manager meeting coming up, you can grab the most latest data right before that meeting and see what's been going on. On the more detailed analytics, we can see by product how many times they were viewed this month, last month, and a lifetime. So this is a little bit of a drill down, but what's nice is when you open up this, you can actually see all of the URLs and then the activity by URL for that specific product. So we can see this is now on 2 different sites. And obviously this one in demos is getting accessed a little more than the one on the dev site. Okay, again, this is our data, so it's small data, but you get an idea of what you would see within there. And you can see that's for all of my products that I have in there. So that is a free product that comes with your product purchase or a subscription. And we know you'll use a lot of it. Okay, so let's come back here to this. And the first product we're going to take a look at is OrgChart Plus. So OrgChart Plus allows you to build a org chart of your organization that comes from one of 2 data sources, right? So again, when you put org chart, you put it on multiple different pages. Each one is configured the way you want it to act. So you can either point your org chart to your Entra database or Active Directory, right, online, or you can point it to a SharePoint list. So for small organizations, sometimes Entra is accurate. For larger organizations, it sometimes doesn't really represent your org structure. So we built what we call list support, so you can actually build your org structure in a list. As you navigate through the org chart, there are action buttons that allow you to start a chat, make a call, send an email. We've got 3 or 4 different org chart rendering engines. And you can also change your starting node or do all these other filters that really help things out. What's nice is if you do attach it to your Active Directory or Entra, we've worked through the Graph API, and we've got a bunch of pre-fetch filtering, right? So what this allows you to do is make sure we don't throttle the Graph API. You can say, really only get this set of data, and then you can manipulate that data rather than grabbing your whole database, which for some people could be 80,000 records. You could say, I just want, you know, a set of records from a certain organization or a certain region or a certain type or a certain email string, et cetera, et cetera. So we give you a whole bunch of query filters, which are pre-filters. And then we give you a bunch of post filters that allow you then filter the data that you have to have things like includes, does not include, starts with, ends with, does not. So this is very simple to set up. I'm going to show you real quick how to do that, but it really helps you deal with the data that's in your Graph API. We only have post filtering on list data because it's not that big when you make list data, so we don't really need any pre-filter caching on the thing. We do some safety stuff in there, so if we do see you, if you have a very large tenant, we'll sort of prompt you to say, do you want to do some filtering before we grab all this data? On the list, SharePoint list side, we give you a sample list to build off of, but it's really just a list of information that you're going to include in the org chart and who reports to who. But what's nice is you can use Power Automate to build these lists from various data sources, whether it's HR, ADP, Workday, Excel. Just grab that data, bring it into a list, and then you can have an accurate org chart based on other sources besides Microsoft Entra. So pretty cool in there. We do have a free version of OrgChart Plus as well as the premium version. The differences mostly are they both support Active Directory and list data. For the free version, there's only one rendering type that you have access to. There is no filtering, but they both do have search once you've got it up there. So it's really meant for smaller organizations that just want to put up pretty much everybody in there and have a nice little org chart at no charge. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at that product. And I got to keep moving along here because we're going to run out of time. All right, so here's an org chart that is pointed to list data. So as you can see, it's very interactive, right? So I can kind of highlight people. If I click on a person, I do have the ability to start chats, make phone calls, and the like. And there is an integrated search as well that allows me to find people that are in there. So this is one rendering engine, and you can see it's moving horizontally from left to right. So you can have choices such as making it vertical. I can change the starting point of it so that I start with Elisa and work our way down or something like that. But let's go ahead and just take a look at a couple different rendering engines we have in here so we can see just the flexibility that you have with building the org chart to fit specifically how you want it to look within your page. Okay, so if I go into my menu here, which allows me to access my settings. Too short I just hit. Let's go ahead and do that again. Well, there we go. So if it's list data, so you can see we got our two choices here, graph API or list data. You just simply tell us where the list exists and who you want to start on that list, right? So on our product, this is the list I'm using. So you can see here's the email. Here's a bunch of data that we also track in here. And then all the way over here on the right, it says who does that person report to? Again, matching the emails over here. So it's pretty straightforward and easy to create some nice sophisticated org charts. But once you've got it in here, we have what's called a single page tree, a simple, which just shows 2 levels at the time, or a collapsible tree. So let's go ahead and move to a collapsible tree. And we're going to change this to vertical. And then instead of starting with Rob, let's go ahead and start with, who's got a bunch of data in here? Mike. So I'm going to change the top level person. I change my rendering engine, and we're going to go ahead and save that. And so you can see now we've got what's called a collapsible tree. So this automatically zooms out. We can see Mike is here at my start, right? He is also even with these folks. So as we show these, it kind of zooms in and out on where those people are related to Mike. But the tree itself is, you can search on, you can go ahead and zoom in and out of any of these structures, right? And of course, we also have the ability to call. So this is a different rendering engine. And we can go ahead and say, you know what, I don't really want that one. I want to go back to horizontal, and I'm going to go to a simple, save it. And now we've got this engine here, which allows us to then see just the 2 levels. And then I can move up and down the levels if I want, right? To see who each of these top levels are. So pretty straightforward, but lots of different options. And what's nice is, unlike the org charts you get out of the box, this is meant for you to display an organizational structure the way you want it to be displayed for a specific page. Let's say it's an HR page, it's a dev page, it's a new department, or it's a certain business office, and you want an org structure for that business office on the home page. This is really the product for you there. Okay. Let's jump on quickly to the next product. We've got a product called List Search. Now, what List Search does is it allows you to target a search for your users against a specific document library or a specific list, right? So unlike the search that you get at the top of SharePoint, where search is everything in one site collection, we can allow users to put in pretty complex searches. We build this form automatically based on what you pointed at, and allows you to look at, let's say, documents that were created between a set of dates, or before or after a set of dates, or a set of dates and by a specific person, and the like. So really what you get to do is get the results your users are targeted to look for, but you can also create more complex searches in a Boolean manner without having a lot of skills. So what's also nice is, unlike the regular search, we can actually search across site collections, so that if you want to search a specific document library, but that document library exists in a whole other site collection. You can just put list search on one page and point it to the document library on another page. It's really a neat way to really surface information. So we've got a whole document on what the difference is between out-of-the-box SharePoint search and our search, and the complexity that's there. But again, it is very dynamic. We've got a nice grid view that allows you to filter the results and the like. Now we have integrated simple search with list rollup, which is another one of our products. And if you add list rollup, it's called advanced search, which allows you to combine lists or document libraries into a single schema and then point simple search at that schema. So if you've got multiple document libraries or multiple lists and you want to search them all at one time, you can grab them from a whole bunch of different site collections, configure one schema, and then put simple search against it, and off you go. So real briefly, what that looks like is, again, we've got our search content here. We've got our options on how to create more complex searches, but we'll go ahead and just search for everything first, right? So it's not that big of a document. So we've got some stuff from sales and marketing. We got stuff created by Megan and the like. So let's say I wanted to say, what are all the documents that are created from sales and marketing? Right, and there we go. We get a nice highlighted, we get a list. I can print out my results, or I can click on the item and actually go right to it. But don't forget, these items could be existing somewhere else, right? All security trimmed and controlled, of course. But let's say I got a very large list from sales and marketing, and I really only wanted the ones where the person equals Rob Manfredi. So if I go in here and grab my people picker, and I grab myself, it actually updates the search and then brings back just that single result where person equals Rob Manfredi, and it's from the department sales and marketing. Pretty cool. You can also include SharePoint views as your results as well. And there's a lot of configuration in here that allows you to choose how many columns from a list or how much metadata from the document library you want to include in your search results, and what columns you want in the actual results, right? So all of this is super configurable, just like before. Again, you would just go into the edit. The web part itself has a nice configurator built into it, which works pretty much like all of our solutions. And we always look for our little pinwheel, open that up, and over here you can see we can point it to a list or library. You tell us where it is. We give you your list of lists. You choose the list that you want to search against, and then we'll pull in all the columns. You can then choose which columns you want to include in your form over here, and then include enforce wholesale search or have the option for partial sell, your join operator, and then the same thing with your search results. Very straightforward. You can use a view, or you can define what it is you want in your search results over here by just moving things to that column. That creates a new view in there. So pretty straightforward, great product, and something that everybody should have. All right, let's jump on now to Calendar Plus. So in the new SharePoint Modern Experience, there really isn't a good calendar view of data, right? You can create task lists, you can create event data, but there's no way to have it look like a calendar, right? So we've created Calendar Plus to take data from either Exchange or a list and bring it together into a calendar. You can color code it, you can search against it, and you can bring in as many lists or Exchange calendars as you like into a single view. Lots of configurations, including week numbering, lots of different views that are out there. We got multi-month views, quarterly, 3-month view, year view. And again, like I said, you can connect to Exchange and bring in calendars from Exchange as well. So out of the box, you do have these overlay options, but it looks kind of like this, not very user-friendly. And you're kind of limited in your color coding. You can't have categories and things like that. So we've got a nice blog on the difference between what overlays do versus our product over here, where we can see we've got a searchable, filterable legend that you can turn on and off. We've got categories that are brought in, and then of course multicolor color coding over here with a whole bunch of different views, such as a week view, a month view, month weekday, agenda view, quarter view, list view, year view, and all those other great things that you don't really get with out-of-the-box SharePoint. So again, we spoke about attaching to Exchange. If you want to do that, we just grab some permissions from Graph API and tunnel in. And let's take a quick look at what that looks like as well. Again, all of these products are available for a free 30-day trial, fully supported by our team to help you with the install, configuration, and training. But you can see here, we've got a calendar that's actually 3 different calendars. One is an Exchange, 2 are list calendars. Essentially just any sort of items that have dates in it, and we've pulled it into a view. We've got a nice little pop-up that users can use to see what the details of those events are before clicking on them. Of course, you could always click on them and get the item and its detail from SharePoint right there, or from Exchange. And then you can choose your different views. You can actually add items to those sublists as well. But if I wanted to turn off my project calendar and my Exchange calendar, I could do that. It would remove all the items from there. And then let's say I want to get rid of my meetings, or I just wanted to say, just show me my business items, and then I can see them there as well. So these filterable legends are really nice for turning on and off calendars to help you view what you have. We do have a full search up here as well that allows you to search across the events on the calendars. Really useful, one of our top selling products out there because it's just nothing like it within SharePoint. All right, let's take a look at the next product, which is TreeView. So TreeView really pairs well with Simple Search. So a lot of times when users are navigating a document library, they don't really like the breadcrumb experience. That is, you move down the document library, up the document library through breadcrumbs with a page refresh each time. They want it to be more like Explorer, which really hinders the adoption for users to make sure their documents are in SharePoint because they just don't like to navigate or search. So you kind of put these two things together. What we've done is created an Explorer-like experience with TreeView that allows users to navigate through document libraries, drag and drop items into those document libraries. Of course, everything can be security trimmed, and you can also change the starting point or nodes or hide folders within that TreeView. And those document libraries can exist anywhere in your tenant. So let's go ahead and take a look at what that looks like. For such a simple product, it's something that people really, really like a lot. So TreeView, we can see here, we've got a document library that starts with site assets over here on the left. We'll go, sorry about that. And you can see over here are the lists of folders and items. So I can either just jump around this way, or I can jump, that way. Oops, I double clicked. It opened it up. And there's just a bunch of images in here. And if I click on the image, it actually opens them up, just like we saw before. I can actually take items, and if I want to drag and drop them, I can do that. And it will ask me if I want to copy or move them. We'll go ahead and copy that. It confirms it. And the like. We do have all of our normal SharePoint options here, which allows me to grab a new one, or create a new document there. I can do an upload. I've got my download and alerts. I can do multiple downloads as well into a zip file, so I can download everything within there, and the like. So pretty cool. What's also nice is this could be a very large document library, and what we enable our users to do when setting this up is change your starting node so that if I wanted this to just start out from closeout on down, I would choose that as my starting node, and everything else would be hidden from me. In addition, if I do start at site assets, there could be folders that I don't want to show from the site assets down, and you can hide those from the view as well. Of course, it's all security trimmed. If the user doesn't have access to a folders, they won't be able to get into it. So you can see this is a really nice experience for finding things. And if you pair Simple Search with this on a single page, people are going to have a great time just getting to the folders and the documents that they have within SharePoint. Okay, moving right along, we've got a product called Carousel. So Carousel is an image slider for SharePoint Online. So this is just like a typical carousel that you would see that slides images across a page. Now what's nice about this slider is it's really smooth. It allows you to add text or titles and then linking to other sites. So if you had, let's say, an open enrollment image and you want to say something about open enrollment, and then when they click on the image, it takes them to the open enrollment site. So that's really some of the things that this slider can do. We've also got some neat things such as automatic publish date of an image and automatic expiration date of an image. which enables you to just put up, let's say, that same benefits enrollment for the month of September and then have it automatically disappear after enrollment period ends. Now, you do have a lot of image options in out-of-the-box SharePoint, but they're very limited. So you've got this sort of image gallery. You can see this is, one image of 13, right? But there's no pause play. There's a lot of white space around it. There's no captioning for these images, and it just shows you, 13 images that are there. There is a hero image, which is very popular, right? But again, you can only have 5 images total. Only the largest image can be given information to learn more, but these images cannot. You can't customize the image titles, and the images are uploaded one at a time and are located where the web part is located versus having a centralized repository to it. There is also a thing called image display within SharePoint, but again, it shows you a lot of white space. It shows you only one image and the like. And then if you look at our carousel, right, it gives you the typical, you can specify the width. We've got our pause button. You got your number of images here. You've got your text that you can add. And that's all pointing to a folder of image and metadata there. So let's take a quick look at how that looks. And where is it? Where's my carousel? Oh, there it is. So carousel's over here doing its thing. So here's an image. It's going to move at a certain pace that I've set during my configuration. You can see the transitions are nice and smooth. It's not moving anything on the page. The size of this can be configured into a number of pixels. I can hit the pause button, stay on it. And what's nice is I can hyperlink on it, right? So I can either open up in an existing page or open up in a new tab or a new page, depending, again, how you set it up within the image library. Very straightforward. Really cool, and just something that we think every page should have. All right. And I think that was it. We went through all 5. If there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Don't forget, on our page, you can access free downloads for a 30-day trial of any of these products or any other ones. If you're interested in a subscription, we'd love to get you on board with that. If you're interested in purchasing, you can purchase it through us with a credit card or with a purchase order. We are a business-to-business company, so we understand how to become vendors in your organization. Again, our full support and updates and upgrades are available as well. So if there are no questions, I'm going to thank you all for coming. We were 5 minutes longer, but we did get through a lot of information. We'll send out a recording of this so that you can, again, look at it again and share it with your team members. Thank you all. Have a great day.